here at Colnago's factory, which is just outside Milan, and we're here because Colnago's just launched a new bike, the V2R, which is a carbon monocoque frame, top of the range, aero road bike that's also pretty lightweight, and it's the successor to the V1R bike that Colnago made in collaboration with Ferrari. So they've sought to retain everything that was good about the old one and just make it better. The main differences with the V2R compared to the V1R, which it's based on, is the seatpost junction here, because now you've got this integrated seatpost clamp with a wedge system, which is actually very similar to the one found on the Colnago concept aero bike. And one of the other big differences is that Colnago has moved the brake, which on the V1R was down on the bottom bracket, onto the stays, and this is for easier cleaning, maintenance. It's also allowed provision for wider tyres as well. By changing the placement of the brakes, they can now put 28mm tyres here. And also, Colnago said there was some power meter compatibility issues with like stagers, crank arms and things like that, catching on a bottom bracket mounted rear brake. We've also got cables now running into the down tube, which is a bit neater. And although this is a mechanical cabled version, on electronic group sets you can have the junction box here as well, which would be nice and neat. And something I really like is the bottom bracket, which is Colnago's own standard, which is a sort of screw-in shell threaded into which you put press-fit bearings. So it's got the best of what a press-fit bottom bracket offers, combined with the best of what a threaded bottom bracket offers, which is reliability. So that is a really nice feature to have on the frame. At present, there's no info from Colnago about UK pricing or availability or what specific models we'll have. But our test bike that we've got here is fitted with Campagnolo Super Record. I mean, what else? And Bora tubs. And it's very light, impressively light. It's coming in, I don't know the exact weight, but it is coming in underneath the ECI weight limit. Overall, Colnago is saying that by changing the layup of the bike and developing new carbon fibre manufacturing processes, they're able to use the same amount of material but reduce the overall weight. I haven't personally ridden the V1R, so it's hard for me to make a comparison to what the old bike was like. But my first impression, and I have to stress this is just the first impression because I've only ridden it once, is that the head tube is pretty tall for a road bike actually. Colnago said that they've shortened the head tube compared to the V1R, but by 4mm for the equivalent size. But it still feels quite tall. And I know I've got quite a bit of spaces in there, so I have to run it without that in the future and see how it feels then. But it did feel with a quite wide handlebar, very sort of nimble and a bit like a sort of sportive bike, to be honest. But it handles very well on descents. And one thing is for sure, we pulled up at a cafe. This bike is an absolute head turner. Very bronzed looking Italian gentlemen sat outside the cafe, and instantly they were on their feet and coming over and having a look at the bikes. And this bike is a head turner with this beautiful satin finish, and then the red gloss logo. It's very nice, and you have to say it pretty much is the bike equivalent of a Ferrari.